Welcome everyone to the People's House.
Mr. Speaker, will you please call the House to order?
The bill is passed.
We want to make sure that we make New York a more affordable place to live, a better place to raise a family.
Welcome to Assembly Update. I am Assembly Member Angelo Santabarbara, representing the 111th Assembly District, which includes Montgomery County, parts of Schenectady County, and parts of Albany County. And speaking of Schenectady County, my guest is a good friend of mine, Ann Parillo, who is the host, from one host to another host, the host of Schenectady in and around the Capital Region, Schenectady Today.
Yeah, great. Thanks for inviting me. It's so neat to be here on the other side.
It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah.
And I know you've watched my show, and I've watched your show.
Absolutely, yeah. You've been on my show.
Yes, and I've been on your show several times. Yeah. So we're excited to have you here to talk about several things. First, let's talk a little bit about your show. You passed 800 shows not too long ago, and we're on your show to recognize you.
Yeah, and we're doing, I don't know when this is going to air, but our next show is going to be an 820th show.
So it's just rolling right along.
And we've done it for 16 years, and we've never missed a show. You know, even if we have to film it a week ahead, you know, which is rare, you know, because something comes up, but we get out there like you do. You just keep doing it.
And you have a live studio audience.
Yes.
And it's wonderful to come and share information, and a lot of local viewers as well.
Yeah.
So you 800 shows. You passed 800 shows, and what's I guess what are some of the memorable moments? I know you have a lot of
well, other than
photos.
you being on the show, which would be quite memorable, of course, especially when he brought the chickens. But
the chickens, that's right.
Do you remember the chickens?
We brought live chickens on your show to talk about raising chickens.
Raising chickens.
And I still raise them to this day, those chickens.
Well, I've moved on, and I have had alpacas on. And they were really neat, and they were a hit with the audience. They came over and nuzzled them and played with them. Our funniest experience, we had llamas on a different time. The llamas were wonderful, and they came down through the elevator in Proctor's.
Now, I would have liked to see them coming down through the elevator.
What you would really have liked to see is them going up, because they would not get back into the elevator. So it took them a half hour to get that llama back into the elevator to go up. They were pushing and pulling. So, you know, you never know when you come to the show what you're going to see.
I don't know if we have pictures of that, but that would have been nice to see some of that. So, yeah, you've had live animals on your show.
Yeah, we've had birds more recently. As a matter of fact, the Raptor Fest is going to be up in near Fort Edward, so we've helped promote that. And they're going to have the Birds of Prey, and that's in March. So that's great,
wonderful.
Yeah, good stuff.
And you have such a variety of guests on your show, and like I said, I've been on your show many times to share I Pledge and to share about the chickens and
Future City,
and virtually every segment of the community has been on your show one time or another.
That's right.
And it's great to have you doing this service to the community, to get information out there, to promote these community events, to talk about what's going on in and around the Capital Region.
And you want to do more than what most television stations do. And I understand they're commercial stations and they really need to follow a format. But we're able to give our guests more than just a sound bite. So they usually have about 10 minutes to give their story out there, bring photos, video if they want to. And I invite anyone who would like to be on the show to contact me. They can go to my website and contact me. We reach people up in Saratoga. We've had people come in from Cobleskill, even Utica. So we've done a lot in our community to make it a more viable and vibrant community, to know what's going on in the area.
And that's really what over those 800 shows, I think that's what you've accomplished. And people talk about your show, and I visited your website, and it's a great resource to find out what's going on right in your backyard. That website that you mentioned, www.annparillo.com.
Right, and they can always reach me at ann@annparillo.com too for an email. I just wanted to mention, I've had some really great experiences. The most recent was, and this is the second time it's happened, the Russian Festival was in the area.
Yes.
And I got Volnista, which is a fabulous art, what they call it art trio, which is how they describe their music. They were an incredible group, and they're big in Russia. They came in from Moscow and appeared on my show. was so exciting.
And I think we do have some pictures from
Yeah,
that we're
they
going
were
to flash
wonderful,
up.
yeah.
And it's great, and this is what I'm talking about. It's great to see so many different things that you bring to the community.
Yeah.
And you've had a great partnership in Schenectady, and your studio looks fantastic. I know you're going to share some other pictures with us. You've also had is it Zoppi? Pronounce it
Zeppe is the Italian circus.
Okay.
It's a family circus, and they came to Proctor's area, and they performed right next to Villa Italia in Schenectady. And it's a fabulous, just intimate circus, and they brought their dogs into the studio.
I see that.
And had the dogs perform. It was really cool.
And it looks like the dogs are
They had them all dressed up, and they
Okay.
had them dancing. I mean, you just never know. We were able to get the Red Apples. You know, the Big Apple Circus. Oh, I'm sorry, I want to get the right name, but anyway, it's the Big Apple Circus.
The Big Apple, okay.
And they brought Elaine Kramer in, who is a world-renowned contortionist, and she was on our show.
And I can see the photo that's up right now. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And she did that live on your show.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And these, bringing to light, I guess, what these events are and what's involved is fantastic. And seeing the dogs on your show live and having the real aspect of it.
This is the glitz, but let me tell you what's really important is talking about diabetes, talking about cancer, talking about arthritis, getting physicians in to talk about orthoscopic surgery. We try and do it all, and even though I brought pictures that were kind of like, just to see a couple of talking heads is one thing, but to see pictures like this, people will catch people's eyes. But on the other hand, we try and promote local theater, we try and music. The Empire State Youth Orchestra, wonderful group. So this is kind of what I look for, is interesting people, authors, and people are doing interesting things.
And I've noticed that over the years, it seems like your show is just packed so tight, segment after segment, because you have so many guests that are, I assume, are approaching you, that want to be on the show, they want to have a segment, and you're probably having a hard time fitting it all in because there's so much coming at you.
I am. Yeah, we're going to have Mayor McCarthy on coming up out of Schenectady to talk about their homes project, getting people to buy homes, and how they can save money and how they can get financing. So there's a lot of layers to the show, and I like that.
And going back to 800 shows, how does it feel? What does it mean to you to be able to bring these guests on?
It means that I got them go to 900.
You're heading there. You're heading to 900 very quickly.
Well, I think that I will keep doing this as long as, I don't get Rotten Tomatoes thrown at me or anything. But, it's certainly, as long as I can do it, I will do it. And Proctor's has been very good to me to allow me to use the space and everything. And we certainly have a nice connection there, and we do like it. And having an audience is really wonderful.
And it's really become part of
the
who you are,
institution,
and it's something that you look forward to doing, and it's part of who you are.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful to have you.
Coming from a pharmacist to doing this, is that talk about a change? Or for an engineer to be a legislator, right? Same thing.
It's the same thing, and you've been very, I guess, flexible with where. We've even gone to my mother's house to do some holiday cooking.
Oh my God, wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We cooked at my mother's.
Fabulous. His wife's pretty good too.
The Feast of the Seven Fishes.
The Seven Fishes,
and we watched that get cooked, and that my family at my mother's house had quite the feast that night.
It was wonderful. It just brought back memories of when I was going to my Italian heritage, going to family dinners and the long table and in the basement, because that is so true.
That's exactly how we've always done it since I was a little kid. And,
us too.
And you were there to capture it, and that was very special.
It made me cry.
That was
you touched my heart. You really did.
It brought back memories for me as well to kind of be there and to watch it all on camera again.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for doing that. My family thanks you.
Yeah, it was really great.
So your background, having started thinking back to some of your first shows, how has the show changed, and how have things
The
It was
first ones, holy moly.
going from 1 to
Well,
800.
Well, it was like in the beginning when you start out a show, it's like now I have no contacts, I don't know who to get, so I would check the phone book, I'd check the the newspaper, and a few times people would say, "Well, I'd come on, but I need to know more about you. I need to know," and I was really. It's not like I was an unknown entity. I lived in Schenectady the majority of my life, but still, they didn't. There was no history. And, I can't pull out my pharmacy background and say, look, I was such a, I did all this, they didn't care about that. So it took a little struggle to kind of get my guests lined up. And once I did, it seemed to keep building. And it's kind of like a stone going down on the moss, catching up on it or whatever. It just kept growing and growing and growing. A snowball would be better, I guess. It just kept growing. And now I am booked out till I think the end of May, and we're filming this in beginning of, or mid-March. I'm solid,
And
I am booked out to the end of the year. Some in September are full.
And you mentioned Proctor's and the partnership, and I think the public access availability of that and the way it's been structured there, being so accessible, I think that's really made a difference for the whole county.
And then we're sending our films, the show out. So it's being seen in Amsterdam, it's being seen in the city of Albany, county of Albany, there's 2 stations there, Bethlehem, Delmar, Clifton Park, Saratoga County, so in Rensselaer and Troy. So we're really all over the area, and that's when that developed is when we went to in and around the capital region, because we're reaching so many more people. Yeah. And the reason I know is I go to a market and somebody starts talking to me, and in my mind I'm going, I said, did I know them from pharmacy or when I taught at the college, or were they on the show? And then they finally say, oh no, I'm just a fan, I love to watch your show. And I go, phew, I didn't have to remember who that was.
And I do follow I get on your email list, and I follow the emails, and I see all the channels that people can watch you on it, or on your, is that listed on your website as well?
Absolutely.
And I know you're on FiOS in some
FiOS
areas.
too, yeah.
So to look for those stations, to find
and just
the show.
go to my website and find out.
Go to the website, www.
With the times.
.parillo.com. You will find all the stations, all the times that it airs, and I know it airs at different times in different areas as well. If you haven't seen the show,
you can always watch on the web too.
And you can live stream. I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, on OpenStageMedia.com.
Excellent. So any one of those venues, if you hadn't checked out the show, Schenectady Today, in and around the capital region. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk more to Ann Parillo about her show and some exciting news coming up as well.
Good news.
Stay with us.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it.
Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell him.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
Persuasive.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything...
It is I, Cruz Zinkelpel. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how get so tiny?
Welcome back to Assembly Update. I am Assembly Member Angelo Santabarbara with district offices in Amsterdam and Schenectady. In Amsterdam, 1170 Riverfront Center, Amsterdam, New York, 12010. I can be reached by phone there at 518-843-0227. In the city of Schenectady, 433 State Street, Schenectady, New York, 12305. I can be reached by phone there at 518-382-2941. As always, by email at santabarbara@assembly.state.ny.us. You can find me on Twitter. You can follow me under ASM Santa Barbara, or find me on Facebook. Also Instagram under Assemblyman Santa Barbara. Welcome back to the show. If you didn't get all that social media, you can find it on my website. I know there's a lot of social media happening.
I'm doing Facebook.
As with my guest, Ann Parillo, host of Schenectady Today in and around the Capital Region, which is a fantastic show. I've been on it several times. We talked about all the great guests you've had on your show. You have reached and passed 800 shows. I believe you're on 820 now. Right. We're happy to have you here on my show as well. One host talking to another host.
What fun.
It doesn't get better than that.
No.
We have flashed up, or we're going to flash up this little wooden sign, Schenectady Today, it says, when the show used to be called Schenectady Today.
When you show that, that's the first sign I ever made, and that was 16 years ago that I made it. So in and around the Capital Region isn't on there. But I want to just say one thing, is that I could not do this show without volunteers. We have volunteers that have been with us 16 years. Greg Millett has been my technical director. Nina Ringinello has been my floor manager. Dick Paterak has done camera and sound. I mean, these people have been there 16 years. Beyond that, we have new volunteers. We have Joel Stewart. We have